is Tammy we are with VA to VA, and I have Nanette and Lisa with me who will introduce themselves in just a moment. We're excited to be with you today talking about social media for your business, and everybody knows that's so important now. And so we want to make sure we give you some little helpful tips and things, especially for those in business, but even those who are VAs, are virtual assistants, and multi-virtual assistant companies. It's so important. And some of these tips I hope will really help you today. So we have Lisa Colby. Go ahead, Lisa, and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Lisa Kolb. I am the owner and manager of Augusta Virtual Assistants here in Augusta, Georgia. We are a team of virtual assistants who help mainly realtors and attorneys, but we also have other entrepreneurs and business owners that we work with. Our website is augustavirtualassistant.com, so I invite you to visit our website, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Lisa. And Nanette, please introduce yourself and your company.
Sure. My name is Nanette Telemac. My company is, in essence, Virtual Assistants. I offer support, whether sales, marketing, or technical help for small businesses like consulting, small consulting firms and small service companies, or someone who wants to sell products online. So I'm out of Newbury, New Hampshire, and I've been in business for about, going on 4 years now.
Wonderful. Thank you, Nanette.
You're
and
welcome.
I am Tammy Durden with Tammy's Office Solutions out of Richmond, Virginia. And we specialize in helping startups, small to mid-sized businesses with their companies with bookkeeping, digital marketing, virtual assistant services, and writing services. So, and my company's website is tammysoffices.com. So, to get us started today, we thought we'd talk about just the very beginning steps first. How do you create your sites for whatever platform you're going to be on? And, I kind of suggest most of the time to do the 4 main ones, which I consider Google+, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, but now we know Google Plus and YouTube are tied in together also, so because video is so important. But out of those, generally I suggest to clients to focus on 2 of those. Still post to the others and all, but make sure you are building relationships because it's still about that. And make sure you're on those platforms and begin to build relationships with the people that you're following and who are following you. And so if we just go to the very beginning steps, the first thing you have to do is set up your profile, your company's profile. That's very important. A lot of people set up a personal profile, and they don't think about setting up the business profile. And on every one of those platforms, you can have a business profile, and that's very important. So make sure you do that. A lot of people have trouble with banners and making them fit. I did for a long time. But I wanted to suggest to you all, there's a lot of places now, if you just do a Google search, you can find templates for banners. But one place that I found that was really good is HubSpot. They have a free, if you just put in HubSpot free banner templates, you can download some banner templates, and it's through PowerPoint. And so you can just use that to help you. It's not exact. I mean, it still works really well, though. So, and I think that you would find that very, very helpful because I see so often, I don't know about you guys if you see that, Judy, you see a lot of businesses and things just have weird, I don't know, a weird banner, or, you could tell that they just couldn't figure it out or something maybe. Have you seen that, guys? You're allowed to talk.
I was going to give you an step away for a second. Yeah, new VAs or those that are just starting up and having to learn all the ins and outs of the social media platforms. It's a learning curve for them, but they usually catch on pretty quickly, and that's great information.
Yeah, I've been playing with some templates I found. I think it was the company, the app is called Canva, is it? You've heard of Canva, right?
Yeah.
And nothing's exact in these applications. So,
Right.
I'll follow their template, put it up, and then it is not quite right. So I have to finagle it. So, but once I get it just right, then I keep that template because I know that that's the
Absolutely.
one that I have. But yeah.
Absolutely, and that's a great point too. Is that you do have to finagle some of these to make it work for you. But yeah, I think that's also a great resource and one that I'm gonna suggest. But as far as then, once you get everything set up, you have your website, you have your, everything on the platform for yourself. Then the next thing you're gonna have to do is post. And a lot of people get stumped by that, but there's a lot of really easy ways to do this. First of all, you can create a blog. That's really important part of your marketing. But so if you're creating a blog anyway, whether it be once a month, once a week, once a day, whatever it is, make sure you post that on your sites. Make it consistent and post on your sites. Now, I know Lisa's going to talk about more about that and managing your sites. But in creating posts, the other tools that I use are that I have used in the past and that have helped me. So first of all, I would suggest that you also curate content. And a lot of people don't understand that term. When I talk to clients all the time, they don't know what that means. But if you're curating content, we're always reading things online. We're always finding good articles and good resources. So post those. Share that link with other people. And that is curating content. If you think your audience is going to be interested in that, okay? And I just learned, not learned, but was suggested a new thing the other day, not to say target audience or target market, but to say ideal client, especially for small businesses, because the bigger companies can do the target audiences. We can do ideal clients. And so, you definitely want to get things that they're going to be interested in that ideal client of yours that they may be interested in these articles, resources, and they're going to appreciate that you have them in one place. So that's very important. Now, the other thing that's really important is to also create content. Creating content simply means that, whether it's through a blog, through writing things, but another way to do that is through quotes on pictures, and that's a real easy way to do it. Not that you should do that every single day, but it's important to use certain tools to do that because a lot of people don't realize how to do that. And as Nanette suggested, with Canva, you can do posts. You can do all kinds of, they have templates as well, and then you can share it on your different platforms. You can use, there's Creative Market, which is another one. They have freebies every week that you can download and use. Then there's another newer one called Pexels, Pexels, and it's all free pictures and really good quality. Some of them are very good, and I've been using that too, and really nice. Then we also have Unsplash, which also gives away free pictures, really nice ones. And I think you can download a certain number every week. Is that correct, ladies? Do you know? I think there's a certain number.
Of what? Download what?
On Unsplash, I think there's a certain number you can download every week, correct?
I'm not familiar with that one, so.
Yeah, about 10 maybe or something, but certainly enough to create some posts. And then there's also Fotolia, Fotolia, and they do have some freebies, but you can also subscribe and also receive downloads through that. And if you have social media clients on top of that, that's definitely a good source because you want high quality, downloads. The other thing that I would suggest is to compress your pictures, because otherwise they're longer to load, and on mobile that can be a huge issue for people, and they don't want to sit and wait for that picture to load that you have in there. So there's a website called Tiny PNG or Tiny JPEG, whichever type of photo you're using, and all you do is you go in and you just drop it in, and it compresses it for you and saves you a ton of space, and also helps to speed up your upload and everything else for other people. So that's another great resource. Another resource is Bitly, to shorten the link. Don't just go on and post this huge long link on and that everybody sees. That's really not a good idea. It doesn't look professional, and so I would suggest you use Bitly. Or if you're already using another scheduler or something like that, and I'll leave that to Lisa, but there's schedulers you can use to post. Sometimes they'll shorten it for you as well. And then the other thing that I would suggest, if you have difficulty making content or creating content even, I would even suggest using Fiverr possibly, because there's a ton of people on there who will create or write articles for you or blogs. And so that's another resource possibly for you to use as well. And so that's kind of the basics for getting set up and get going. Now, Lisa's going to talk about how you manage it once you get set up and how to take it from that point. So, Lisa, I'm going to hand it over to you, and I don't want to keep talking the whole time and let you do it.
But there, Lisa, one of the things that that should be considered too is which of the social media sites is best for your business.
Yes.
Yeah, because not all of them, like there's so many, and you can be overwhelmed by even choosing it. Do I do Instagram? Do I do Snapchat or whatever? So, examining them and visiting them and doing a little research on what they offer. I find for me that LinkedIn, Facebook, Google Plus, are the ones that I wanted to concentrate on, and also your bandwidth. How much bandwidth do you have? For managing all of these different sites. So that's something to consider as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's why when I was saying make sure you're on the 4, but focus on a couple of those. And the other part of trying to figure out which one you want to be on is knowing where is your ideal client. Because it doesn't matter which one you're on if your ideal client isn't on that same platform, because then you're not going to reach anybody with it. Lisa, go ahead. Thank you.
That's true. Well, I chose 5 of the most popular schedulers for social media. And of course, we had decided in our discussions before, when planning out this hangout, that we were going to pretty much focus on the main 4: Google Plus, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook, because there are so many. And so some of these schedulers do cater to those 4 platforms and a few others if you decide you want to branch out other than those, basic 4. But I picked 5 schedulers that do cater to the main 4: Google Plus, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook, and plus a few more, and I was going to talk about those. So the first one is EveryPost. Now, EveryPost allows you to connect to the main 4 plus Pinterest and Tumblr. It offers a simple interface and lets you pull visual content from many different sources such as Instagram, YouTube, Flickr, or Pinterest to create your own unique content to share with your audience. Most of the dashboard is reserved for typing the text of the post, shortening your URL, so it does offer that, and scheduling. So you have the option to post right now, or you can schedule it for later on. You can post on one account for free, or you can work your way up to the paid options for businesses and teams. The next one I wanted to talk about is Buffer, and most anyone that does any kind of social media management knows about Buffer. It's easy to navigate, allows you to connect to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, G+, and Pinterest. It offers an analytics tool, which is what Nanette's going to talk more about, but that is very helpful to clients who want to see how their dollars or their ROI in social media management and marketing is coming along. And if you have that analytics tool, you can show them. It has a custom posting schedule and the ability to choose the frequency for daily posts. The most popular feature includes the mobile app that they offer, and that allows you to post on the go, so you don't have to be in front of your desktop or laptop in order to schedule a post or make a post. And it has a browser extension for those desktops and laptops for easy access. It is free with limited features, but offers a business enterprise upgrade option. Next one is Social Oomph. That's Social OOMPH. And that was a new one for me, but it had a lot of good reviews. You can post updates to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. It doesn't allow for G+. It does allow for Pinterest and Tumblr as well, though. You can shorten your URLs in it through bit.ly, which is bit.ly, which is a popular link shortener website. You can purge your tweets and messages on Twitter and adjust your scheduling times. It also offers the ability to manage your current following or find new people to follow while being relevant for your business. And that's a nice feature to have. If you want to create welcome messages or instantly follow back the people who follow you, you can do that as well. Now, this one has a free version with limited abilities, or you can choose to upgrade to a premium account. Hootsuite is the next one in the list, and that is very popular as well. Hootsuite is one of the best known social media management tools, and it allows you to connect with Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, G+, and Instagram. You can shorten links, attach photos, and schedule posts, and it allows you to get easy access to features such as analytics as well and insights in your progress and growth, assignment management for your team, and campaign management for all of your social networks. So it works well with teams that you may have assigned to do the postings, not just yourself. There's no need to log in and out of accounts. It's fast, simple, and gives results. And that's for sure, because Hootsuite is, I think, probably the most popular. The paid plan gives you access to more features, but it is well worth the cost. And the last one I wanted to share with you is Sprout Social. Sprout Social is different from the other platforms that I just talked about, or schedulers I just talked about. It focuses on the idea that communication and engagement between businesses and customers should be better and more open. And that's how, Tammy was talking about the relationships. So it focuses more on building those relationships. It allows you to manage Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and G+, and your Instagram accounts. It can be assigned to different team members and lets you share updates in real time by scheduling in advance. You can also draft and create content by attaching photos and shortening those links. Several custom pricing plans are available, and each can be tested out through a free trial period, which I like. When I'm starting to learn about new software, I like to have a free trial before going out and just putting my money into something and I'm not sure if it's going to work for my needs. So free trial periods are really good to have when you're researching new social schedulers. And so Sprout Social may be one that will suit you. So we'll go on to Nanette at this point, where she talks about analytics and the more technical side of social media in business. Nanette? Oh. Okay, there's Tammy.
Hi, we lost her. Hopefully she'll be able to join us again in a few minutes. So I like that you pointed out there were some that I didn't even know in there, Lisa. So that was really, really great, because there were several that I wasn't familiar with. I use Buffer quite frequently and I love it. But one thing to point out too to everybody is that some of these have a cost involved. Most of them usually are free in the beginning at least. And some of them, like Hootsuite and Buffer, do have free options, but you just won't be able to probably use it for all of your platforms. And if you want to do all of them, then you're going to have to maybe have at least a minor cost involved. I know for Buffer, I think I have a $10 account and I can share on like multiple channels. So it's really nice. And then from there, you have to go to like the bigger agencies use like 50 and 100 and more each month. So I really appreciate you sharing those with us because they're so important. An important part, like so many people, at least I know before I learned a lot about it, I would go on and just post on every channel, you know what I mean, and every platform because I didn't realize there was something out there that could do that for me. And so I really enjoy being able to use those items. And the other thing is that they have extensions, a lot of them, so that when you are reading or curating content like we were discussing, all you have to do is click that extension and it puts it right on for you. So it's a really easy process when you're using a tool like that, at least.
Right.
At least that's what I find.
I like the mobile app that Buffer allows too. That's got to be very helpful. You know, all of us VAs, we do have lives outside of our business, and we may run an errand and, you know, be sitting in line at the driver services or something and rolling through Facebook and see an article that would fit one of our clients very well. So to be able to log into Buffer and schedule that post for a client or for ourselves is very, very helpful, and always in research, you know, we're learning something new. But I look at it like this: as far as cost, it's just an investment into your business, and you can pass that cost along.
Absolutely.
To the client. They realize that you know, have to have a means of being very organized with posting for them on social media if they have multiple platforms. So just pass that cost along to them in a form, and it's nothing really out of your own pocket.
Absolutely. That's a good point. And there's a lot of other things to use out there to help your clients as well. And you do have to sometimes pass that along, and they understand, they want you to have good services for them, that you're going to have some costs involved as well for some of these items. Well, there's Nanette again. We're so glad you're back. And I know, Nanette, that you wanted to take a deep breath for a minute, and then we'll let you share with us. But we always have different things happen, don't we? We can't hear you. Are you muted, hon? You there?
I had a question before I got knocked out, but and that was like the management software that you've been talking about. What ones do you both use and are happy with?
Tammy says she uses Buffer. I use Hootsuite.
Hootsuite?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I've never tried Buffer.
Now, Hootsuite may be. I've used them in the past and was using them with a client, and just had some difficulty. They may have changed over the last couple of years, but just was having a real difficult time with them with different things, and so I just pulled off of it, and then found Buffer, and Buffer I've really appreciated and enjoyed. And I will tell you the other thing, and I'm not saying Hootsuite's probably wonderful, and I've heard that Hootsuite's analytics are great and that Buffer's scheduling is great. That's what I've heard from different people. Now, I use it a little bit for both, but it will cost you more to have the analytics with it. So as far as Buffer, as I was telling Lisa, the Buffer account, like with Hootsuite too, you get a certain amount of platforms free, and then you have to pay for it. So I pay $10 a month and get all kinds of platforms. It's really nice. But then if you want the analytics tool, you can see some analytics, very limited, but then if you want the analytics tool with it, it's going to cost more. So it just depends on, you know, what you want and what you want to be able to review, and if you want to go to each platform, which you're going to talk about those things. But so it really depends on what your need is, what your client's needs are, and all of that as well. And you know what they're requiring of you, I think, too, would depend on maybe what you use. Now, I hadn't heard of some of those at all, so. Are you muted again? Did I lose you?
Always. No, I've been using Hootsuite, but the free version of it, and it's been working well for me. I just, you know, didn't want to add to my cost by paying for something. And in terms of analytics, that's great too, but since you can get them individually in the different sites, I choose to do it that way. And I may eventually pay to have it in just one place, but it has been useful in terms of timing little posts that I want to make it throughout, across the board in different, my Facebook or LinkedIn or something. But because it's free, I can only choose 3 sites to do this on. So I don't have that. I think if you pay, you have a wide range of them that you could add.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know with Buffer, like I said, that $10 account is you get all kinds of ability to connect accounts. And I was surprised, and I would love to go further, but then by that time you really need to be almost an agency or at least have a lot of social media clients. But, and like Lisa was saying too, it really is an investment in our business. It's, you think of it as an advertising means. And for $10 a month, that's not too bad, all things considered. But the other thing she was saying too is you're going to pass that along to your client if you're using it for them. So please share with us, though, about analytics and organic rankings.
Well, there's each social media site has what they call insight tools, and in the insight tools, they allow you to in the insight tools, they allow you to look at how many people are viewing your posts. You could see their demographics, so the age group, what country they're from. There's a lot of information that's available on Facebook and on Twitter, on Google. Even Google Plus has a little bit of insights that allow you to see, what's going on with your posts and how they're being viewed. So I like, I use them instead of the management tool, so I can save myself some kind of money. Now, how to use them or how to take advantage of them is pretty straightforward. If you look on Facebook on your business page, you will see insights. So once you click on that, then you can delve into, who saw your views, where were they from, what if they're female or male. So you can see some pretty good statistics, what part of the country they're from. But one thing that and then LinkedIn is another one that also gives you insights. How many people are looking at your profile? If you have a business page, they'll tell you information about how many hits you had on it and where they're from. And so those are all available to you. What I would say is that there's different types of insights to look at your profile. There's insights to look at your publishing, if you're publishing a post on LinkedIn, and then there's a showcase, your business showcase page, and you can see insights on that as well. And Twitter also has insights, so they'll tell you how many people are looking at your Twitter account, your Twitter site, and again, it does break it down and tells you when they hit, who's doing it. So that's all organic reach. It's not what you're paid for. It's all there for you to see, and how you could use it and how you could do better. I'm going to be promoting this site today that I found that I think is so useful because it's only about social media, and it's called Social Media Examiner. And if no one has gone there before, they should, especially if you're thinking of building your social media platform and you want to know how to get started and what the resources there. This site has everything on it. It has a starter button, which is really cool, so it tells you how to get started in social media. And there's also a breakdown. They actually went into insights for each platform, like Facebook. I think they did Facebook, they did Pinterest, they did Twitter, and they tell you exactly how to look at the insights and how to determine and raise your marketing presence. So it's a really good website. Have you guys heard of that one, Social Examiner?
I have, and honestly, that's where I got my information for the 5 platforms. I follow them everywhere, and they are a wealth of information when it comes to social media.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, I do too, and I will a lot of times curate some of their information to share with others in my audience, as
Hmm.
well as they do have a conference every year too that
Yeah.
they promote, and so where if you're a marketer, it's a really good
I
place
think
to go.
if you sign up, you get 3 training sessions a month. I don't know if that's free
Mm,
just for signing up or not, but that's offered, and that's in the starter portion of it. I've been working more and more with the insights. For me, I've been concentrating on Facebook and LinkedIn, but not so much LinkedIn because I'm not ready to publish. And it's great to see what the profiles are and who's looking at it. With LinkedIn, it's a little bit. I have to be more active in there in terms of the groups. It's one thing to have a LinkedIn page, and everybody should have a LinkedIn page if you're in business, because it's a great networking tool. But you have to show activity yourself. So go joining groups and making comments in those groups and engaging with other people, maybe sending an email out and doing publishing an article now and then. Those are all going to help you with the network. And I would say that in terms of social media, if anything is important for your reach, organic reach, I would say LinkedIn should be top, and then maybe Facebook. But definitely LinkedIn is the number one because that's where you're going to find potential customers.
Right.
Absolutely, and I think LinkedIn is huge. And if when you're ready and when others are ready, you do that company page. You can also do I forget what it's called, but a separate page that is like just if you want to highlight one of the services you provide, that page can be for that, just that
That's right.
resource.
That's right.
It's really neat, yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see analytics on that. I highly, highly recommend doing articles on Pulse because that also gets you more visible and gets you out
Right.
in front of it. It doesn't mean you're going to necessarily be picked up by everybody, but it
Hmm.
at least puts you out in front of a bigger audience as well. So I really recommend that also. And be careful though, don't just share your blog
Yeah.
there, or don't just share what you write there in your blog because Google will penalize you for duplicate content.
Right. Right. Yeah, and so again, because you're trying to build use social media as a marketing tool, um, it's not enough to just share a link, and so that requires a lot of thought and a lot of writing, or else, like you say, go to Fiverr and get articles original articles that you can put up because and that's I think why I'm so slow with doing posts is that it requires a lot of thought and time, to think about what topic you're going to talk about, and writing something that's concise and of interest to your targeted or your ideal client.
relevant
That's
relevant content, something that's going to be helpful to them, something that will, I mean, let's be honest, draw them to our websites or to learn more about us.
Hmm.
And we want to look like the expert in our field. We want to be out there offering our services, but they have to be comfortable in knowing that we know what we're talking about.
absolutely, yeah, that's very important. And Elizabeth has a question. First of all, she asked about the resources that we're mentioning, and we wanted to let you guys know we are going to post those so that you can see those. So that'll be posted on our event page and our G Plus page, I guess. Is that right, Nanette? Will you
Hmm.
be able to do
Yeah.
that? Or maybe even on the site? I don't know.
On
And
the
then
site,
Elizabeth also, go ahead.
no, on the site too, it'll be listed. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. And the other question Elizabeth has is, do these also tell you, and I think she's referring these as analytics, also tell you how many people are clicking on your post so that you can check on conversation conversion rates, or do you use different software for that?
It does
Great
tell you
question.
how many people are clicking on your posts on Facebook and whatever. You do see that information, and where they're from. So you'll be able to manage, where they're who they're what country they're from, what state they're from. So a lot of information comes in from that. So I use
And
that.
does it, Facebook shows even if they clicked your website, doesn't it?
Yes, yes. it does do that. So I have to be careful going on it to look because I don't want to crash again. But
Right, right. I know. We have to be careful for those who are watching. We have to be careful that we're really only on here right now and not trying to bring up a lot of other things. So,
that's why I
but
crashed before.
we don't want that to happen again. Another point that maybe you're going to talk about too is keyword search and things like that. Nanette, is that something else you're going to probably discuss with us?
Well, I can, but I mean, that takes you outside, I think, of the insights. I don't see too much of that in each of the Facebook sites. I mean, they can tell you how many clicks you're getting and where it's coming from, and if your information is even, you know, of interest to your audience. But when it comes to keyword search, then you have to go back to Google Analytics, I think, or something of that sort to figure out, you know, what are the keywords that people are using to find you. And making sure that, you know, that you're using those in your post. You know, you don't want to just throw them in just for the sake of getting people to click to you. But you know, but it is good in deciding how what you're going to post and what story you're going to be telling. You know, so
and maybe that's what we should maybe focus on. Maybe it should have been included in what I was talking about, but it is important, right, to know what kind of keywords you're being searched for, what kind of things are out there. Also, doing hashtags in your posts and things of that nature will also help you reach more people. So be sure to do that about the post and the things that you're talking about as well. So yeah, no, I think you're right about the keywords. I think it's important in the beginning to kind of do some research on that before for the post you're creating, before maybe you do that.
Right. So
great point.
It is, and for instance, in Facebook, you have your business manager. You know, that's where you can see an overview of how your business page is doing, and it will tell you the post reach. It will tell you the page engagement, whether it's up or down. Let's see. Actually in it right now, so which is great, so I can see. But it tells you, when you click on the overview and the post reach, you can delve down even more and see by each day, you know, how many people are coming to your site, and if they're liking you, you can tell how many people liked you, and if they didn't like you. So say you post something that someone did not like, you'll actually know that as well.
Absolutely. I think too, Twitter is another one that has really good analytics. I love theirs.
Yeah. Yeah, they're also very good, and it kind of delves down too, which is really great. You know, about how many, and that's important because you want to know that you're capturing the interest of your audience and the people you hope to have as clients. If you're not getting a lot of responses, then you're going to have to reassess, you know, what you should be talking about, and then some more research needs to be put in about what is of interest to them. And then it goes back to what we talked about further back about, you know, when you're starting your business and doing really defining your customer persona. You know, like, who is that customer? What are they? What is it that's of interest to them, and what's keeping them up at night, and what do they want to know?
Absolutely. I think also too that you have to remember that not every post is going to have a ton of interaction.
Right.
I mean, if you're putting a few out a day or a couple a day, you know, it doesn't mean you're going to have 100 people clicking on that. You know, you're looking for the ones that are, though, and how you can interact with them, and the ones that do get good response, you want to respond and say, okay, well, what about that really, you know, hit home for this audience?
Right. Right. So in the Facebook page, you can actually see in your insights not only an overview, but how many likes, how many the reach, page views. So if you have more than one tab, I guess, actions on the page, what did they do? Did they click on your website? Did they click on your action button? Did they directions, phone numbers, so you can get that kind of information. On your post, you know, the kind of reaction that you got, um, how many people were reached, so it tells you that, and it breaks it down in a bar. And the engagements that you got out of it, like if they responded to your posts. And then if you have an events on Facebook or videos, you can see that and the reaction. And then people, which is a good one I like. And the people, they'll have like women and men ratio, how many are looking, how many, you know, for the gender. You know, it breaks, again, as I said before, it breaks down the country, so you'll be able to see where in the country you're being seen the most. Um, and then any messages, the total conversations that are going on, you get a breakdown of that as well.
And doesn't it also tell you age? Did you say that? Maybe I missed it.
Let me see. I did say that at first, that there should be
Yeah, I
age.
think it does break it down by age groups at least, or something
Yeah,
like maybe, you know, it
it's
might say
like a
20,
range.
yeah, different ranges, and shows how many in a bar graph,
Right,
how many are looking, I think, I'm pretty sure.
right.
Because then when you do Facebook ads for yourself or for clients, that's where you're going to, it's going to be important, because you're going to, when you do those, you want to click on, they're going to ask you what's the age category, what's male, female, what's the country, and what region, and all of those things. You can be very specific about your you know, your ideal client, sorry. You can be very specific about it. It's amazing.
I know it's great for that, you know.
Mhm. Kind of scary a little too, but but it is great too when you're trying to reach people.
Exactly. And then let's see. I'm just trying to get into Twitter and see what the insights there. So with Twitter,
And remember, guys, these are important things that you need to be looking at. You know, maybe not daily, but definitely. And if it's you're doing it for clients, definitely on a regular basis. Very
right,
important.
right. I tend to look at my LinkedIn profile and see how that's doing and who's been looking at me. Then I try to go around and, you know, respond, look at my groups and what's the conversations that are going on, making a comment as needed, you know, or if something, you know, if something is of interest to me, then I will comment. So I tend to look at that a lot, and then the next thing I would look at is Facebook. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then third for me is Twitter.
What about you, Lisa? What are most active for you?
LinkedIn, Facebook, um, Twitter, and G Plus are kind of neck and neck. I'm more on Pinterest than I am on Twitter and G Plus. Um, and Instagram, definitely on let's see. So I guess my top three would be Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram.
Is that because you deal with a lot of real estate people and visuals are important? Is that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, probably so. I mean, they just gravitate to the visual industry, and you would be surprised at how many attorneys that we follow on Instagram as well.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, attorneys are all over.
Yeah.
Really?
I just started there not long ago, and I'm still trying to learn it myself for Instagram. But yeah, absolutely, all of that. And then even they're setting up things for businesses on Snapchat now. So I've heard about that recently as well. So I think everybody just gets in on it. You know, Pokemon is on. You know, Pokemon Go is on. You can pay really cheaply, inexpensively, if you have brick and mortar stores, to have people come to you. You know, and sales are going wild. So, I mean, we can't underestimate the power of social marketing. I mean, it's huge. It's huge.
That is for
So,
sure.
I'm mostly on. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm personally, LinkedIn is a big one for me, and it used to be LinkedIn and Google Plus, and something transitioned, and Twitter all of a sudden became more interesting to me for some reason, and I got more interaction. I have gotten clients. I can tell you, I've gotten clients from Google Plus, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. I don't get many from Facebook, and that's what I was going to ask you guys. So I find that I get on there like once a day to check things besides posting things like that, but I'm not as active on that platform. But you both are very active on there. So why do you find that you attract clients on there?
I don't. I've been attracting clients from LinkedIn, but the reason why I seem to be active is it's a comfort. You know, I know it probably better. I'm using it more like an ability to just market and broadcast who I am, because you have friends and friends of friends, and so it's not something I want to ignore because of that.
Absolutely. Brand awareness. You
Right.
know, we didn't even talk about that, but that's huge. That's what you're doing, brand awareness.
Right.
I get referrals, a lot of referrals from people that I network with already on Facebook.
Yeah.
I got one yesterday.
Awesome.
And I'm in a lot of groups on Facebook, not just the virtual assistant groups, but I'm in real estate groups and attorney groups. So I peek in there a couple of times a day just to see what anybody's talking about. And what I don't do is say, hey, I'm a VA, I can work with you. I don't do that. I get in the trenches with them when I have relevant feedback on a subject matter. I'll get in there, I'll answer questions, I'll give an example that I have dealt with in the past, similar. And when you get in there and build those relationships with the potential clients in those groups, then you're building credibility. And they can click over to your Facebook profile and see what you do.
Right.
You know,
it's true, very true.
And it says former realtor, and it says, you know, virtual assistant. So they find out what I do, and then some of them will come along and want to, you know, be friends with me on my profile, and then I send them onto my Facebook page where they can go to the website from there. Right. So you build the credibility and the relationships in the groups, and it just works from there. But my local networking pals or whatever, they send me referrals on Facebook.
One of the things I don't like about Facebook groups is you have to join it from your personal profile. You can't join it from your business. And you know, and although yes, I have both. Sorry, one of my pups is in here. Although I have, you know, I mean, you can tell it has my profession and it has, you know, all of that on there. I still like, you know, I have a granddaughter. I like to put things on there, pictures and other stuff that is more personal than professional. And yeah, I don't believe in I don't believe there's privacy when you're online. I take that approach now. But I'm just saying that I would like to see them be able to allow you to do your professional, join from your professional site, I guess is what I'm saying. But we have a question again when we're talking about the groups. It's a really good question that Elizabeth has. She's asking, are there any particular LinkedIn groups you would recommend? Now, if you can, Elizabeth, and you're still listening, please specify for us what you mean by that. Do you mean LinkedIn groups for you to help you with your business and other VA groups? Are you talking about for potential clients? Because those are two different, really very different things. What do you ladies think?
I mean, I'm in so many groups that they don't let me join groups anymore.
I know, me too.
On LinkedIn. So with LinkedIn, I'm in business networking groups. I am in virtual assistant specific groups. I am in attorney groups and realtor groups. I'm also in a BNI group because I network through BNI. And it just depends on, are you trying, you know, because I can learn a lot from the VA group. And I'm in one particular VA group that says, that is named, I am looking for a virtual assistant. So there are a lot of referrals that come through there if you catch them in time. but it's
right. Yeah, you have to be careful there. I know.
Yeah, and they get snatched pretty quickly. There are a lot of people in that group, and when that person posts in there, they get bombarded with inquiries, for what they're looking for. So you have to be quick. But in the real estate groups and the attorney groups, I like Facebook. I peek in there on occasion, not as often as I do with Facebook. I do LinkedIn, but I do, and see what the discussions are about and give feedback and just engage with them in there. And of course, I don't have a business profile in LinkedIn. It is a personal one with my business name on it. But again, they can go to my profile on there and ask to, um, link up with me there, or can ask me a question in the chats and things like that. It just depends on what your focus is, or if you're trying to learn, or if you're trying to engage with potential clients.
I think she's saying, she just quoted for us that I'm getting feedback from your speaker, I guess. But she just quoted or asked us to help with business and learn. So some groups that I would recommend would be like the International Virtual Assistant Association. They're on there, very active. A lot of people ask questions and post questions on there. There's so many, I'd have to pull it up, but maybe we can post some groups on there in a little bit. What do you think, Lisa?
The IBAA group is a very good one. That would be the number one pick that I would tell her to join for learning. There is another
there's a couple of different ones, like one that's like I'm a mom and a VA. There's some that are just learning, I think even learning. There's some that are subcontractors of VAs, I believe. So there's just, if you just go in, Elizabeth, and anybody else that's listening, and type in virtual assistant, you will see all kinds of groups. Select on that left side. When you search, you can select groups on the left side of the search bar on LinkedIn, and so select the groups and just put in virtual assistant. Otherwise, you'll get a lot of individual virtual assistants. And it will show you a ton of those. Not only that, but now they also recommend groups. If you click in there, they'll recommend groups to you now that you can join, that they think might be a good fit for you. And she says she's in a number of them, but wanted to get our feedback since we have a little more experience. Elizabeth is starting her business, her VA business. And so we're excited for you, Elizabeth.
I think,
thank you for being with us.
Yeah, I think if you're just starting your business, it's good to join the virtual assistant groups, because you're going to get a lot of information, and so you don't have to make the same mistakes that others have. Secondly, though, you should also be joining groups that's going to give you potential clients. And going in there gives you insight and define, what they're looking for, what their pain points are, and how you could, and then you can see how that matches with what you offer and your services. And then when you start speaking to them about, suggestions and things that you've done, just in a conversation type, that can lead to some clients coming to you. So.
Here's a few here besides the IVAA. I am in LinkedIn Virtual Assistants.
Mm-hmm.
I am in Creative Online Entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
There's one named Virtual Assistant. Let's see. The rest of the title was cut off, so I clicked on it. It's just taking a minute to pull up. Virtual Assistant Connection for VAs and their clients. So there's a few right there that she could see if she's not already in.
I also, I'm in some of those as well. I think the one that you mentioned about, the last one you mentioned, I'm in that group too. I'm also in small business, entrepreneur sites. because that's the clients I'm, trying to speak to, and so listening to them and hearing, when they pose questions or concerns or some of the issues that they're dealing with, that's good to know because it helps me to know what kind of clients I'm looking for, and to speak to them.
Perhaps we can post a few of those if you ladies don't mind. Maybe post a few of those for Elizabeth on our event page.
Sure.
That way we're not putting it everywhere, but on our event page, I think that would be handy for our guests, our visitors who are watching, our viewers. That would be wonderful.
Sure.
Excellent. And Nanette, did you have anything else that you wanted to share with us about this? We have about 5 minutes.
Well, no, but I mean, I will go back to what I found in the analytics that are done in Twitter, which is not as in depth as, of course, Facebook, but that's because of the platform that it is. But they will tell you how many people are how many people are looking at your tweets, and which one it was the top, which is a good thing to know.
I thought it went further than that, but do you have a personal one or a business one on there? I'm just curious.
Separate.
So you have what?
I have both. I have a personal one, and then I have a professional one. Yeah, because I don't want.
Okay.
Yeah. So but if you go into like your picture and scroll down, you'll see analytics, and then when that comes up, it will tell you your home page and give you an overview, so like how many tweets. In a 28-day summary gives you how many tweet impressions you got, if it's up or down, your profile visits, any mentions, and followers. So it tells you those things.
Very good.
And it will. There's on the very top of the analytics, it has home, tweets, audiences, events, and more, which is Twitter cards if you do that, video if you do that, and apps manager and conversion tracking, which is really good. Yeah. So, and in the audience, you can add comparison audience. You can add that. It tells you what your current audience is. It tells you the gender, and it tells you the interest, which is really good. Like the interest of your audience. So if it's in technology, news, general stuff, marketing, that kind of stuff. So it gets down to that, and then of course the country and the region. It tells you all of that as well.
It also, well, at least maybe you said this, maybe I just missed it, but I like that it also tells you, like, on average, how many link clicks you're earning, on average, how many retweets, on average, how many likes, on average, how many replies you receive. It's just handy to know that, and especially for a client, if you're working with a client, that's a really big thing as well. One other thing I want to be sure to mention before we leave, too, don't buy likes. I want to make sure our audience do not buy likes, do not buy followers, do not do any of that. You want it to be organic. It's going to make a difference in where you rank, where your profiles and everything else. Please don't do that. The other thing is there's a huge you can have influencers. So your tribe or your people that are following you can be tribe cheerleaders in essence and share your things. So encourage them when they do share. Thank them. These are huge things that go a long way. When you get a new follower, when you get replies, make sure you respond and reply to people on a pretty regular basis and pretty quickly. If they're waiting days for a thank you, then they might not think you know what you're doing or being professional.
Or you're not even on
so I just want to make sure that we mention that as well, because that is a huge thing with social media.
Right.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And then in fact, Google, you go up in Google by your organic, audience, not by what you buy. So.
That's right, absolutely. So please don't get, I just don't want to leave with a wrong impression in anybody's mind. It's very important to take, even though they may be longer, steps to get there, and it really can. I tell my clients it can take 6 to 18 months to really build your social media. So, and don't take it for granted, because it's important. An important piece of your website, an important piece of who you are online and your online presentation to your ideal client. It's huge. Any last words, ladies? We're right on time.
No, I think no.
Lisa? Okay.
Okay.
Well, this was VA to VA, where we're helping multi-VA companies, helping them with things that they need help with. We have exciting things coming up in the very near future for you ladies. We have a website. Nanette, tell them our website.
That would be, okay. That would be www.va2va.com.
Thank you. Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. But so please visit our site. We have a lot of great resources on there for you to download. We'll be putting up some more soon. So just trying to help VAs any way that we can. Feel free to message us, email us, whatever. And we'd love to discuss it with you. Everybody have a fabulous weekend, and thanks for watching. We really appreciate it very much. Have a great day.
Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.